I'm Elton Jacobs, I'm the plantation manager, and we are currently standing in a conservation area in between the commercial area. And this is such a good example of how conservation and commercial forestry can actually work together. The total plantation area is just under 20,000 hectares, almost 50% is under commercial trees. It's actually a little bit more conservation area than actually planted trees, which I think is unique. I don't know if there's anywhere in South Africa where you've got this relationship of almost a 50-50% in terms of conservation and commercial forestry.
That's right, that's true. And I think the other thing which is important to remember here is that in terms of high conservation value, half of the conservation areas here are also high conservation value. So we have over 4,500 hectares of high conservation value areas here. Been very lucky that in citizen science we've had some very good sort of botanists helping us over the last few years, looking at all of these areas and identifying species for us, and literally we now have 36 identified red data species. So these are rare, threatened, critically endangered plants that are on this plantation. And in fact, in the last about 6 years, we've identified 4 new species undescribed to science. So this is a very special place, and these areas that we are managing here, because of the forestry being maintained, that we can actually maintain the ecosystems for those species.
We always get a bad rep as foresters, you know, of not being good conservationists. I think a lot of work has gone in over the years from forestry, and this is not only true for MTO, but all the forestry companies. Some of the best preserved areas and some of the most rare species that you can find, or endangered species, are actually found on plantations, and they are being protected and preserved. The ghost frog, it basically only occurs on this plantation. There's one other site in the world. If we as foresters can preserve and conserve such a rare species, I mean, this, you know, this
is legacy.
This, yeah.
This is legacy.
Conservation is not only for, obviously, the species, it's also for water. And Longmore is a massive catchment area.
Water is a critical aspect of our future. I think we all know that. And therefore, managing areas like this, open conservation areas, is critical, because they're not just there for the rare plants, you know, they're there for the actual water that you're going to drink going forward. And you have to understand that we need a commercial arm in order for this conservation arm to survive. And if it wasn't for those ponds out there, we wouldn't have finances to do all of this. So I think it's a good joint project. In future, we need to really take hands not only between commercial and conservation, but also with other landowners, do catchment management. I mean, instead of just managing your own little portion of land, look larger and larger within a catchment, so that we can actually improve water provision, we can improve fire management, and we can still manage our biodiversity. So going forward, the new generation has to realize that this job is continual, and it's going to get worse as climate change happens, because we'll have bigger floods, we'll have bigger droughts, and we need to figure out how do we actually cope, you know, in a forestry environment, but also in an ecosystem side as our climate changes.